I'm Mateo. I worked in the film industry for 3 years, and then I quit to go to law school because I'm a whore for money, and no amount of money can justify the amount of physical labor that they make you do in the film industry, and they don't really compensate you that well, to be honest, to begin with. I live with my grandparents, and this is my parents' car. You want to introduce yourself?
Why'd you add that part?
You gotta let them know that you're qualified to be
Okay.
reviewing movies.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'm John Luca. So, guys, it's been a long journey in this movie stuff.
hmm
I went to film school and I graduated.
No. Okay.
No.
You're lying immediately to the viewers.
And I graduated, and it was a good time.
Yeah, he
and,
graduated film
No,
school.
there's like one credit left.
Yeah. He's
one
a couple
credit
years
left. I'm a
late
couple of years late
to getting the
on
credit.
that credit, so that's where we're at. But we did pretty much 4 years, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So,
Yeah. Pretty much. So
it's the
we're
same
very
thing
qualified.
that you know, anyways. And then now I do 9x16 reels.
Yeah. Professionally.
Also, like, that counts for something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're film
Right?
industry professionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we review the movies.
And we review the movies. So,
Let them know what we saw today.
we saw 28 years later.
28 years.
28 years.
But also it had a little bit of 28 days in there, too.
Yeah, there was a small 28 days
Small
section
28
in the
days section.
movie. A little.
In the movie.
Yeah, there was a little 28 days part. What did you?
I
think
haven't
of?
seen any of the other ones.
I haven't seen any of the other ones
28
either.
days or 28 weeks, I think
Yeah.
the other one is, right?
Yeah. In your defense, you didn't know that we were going to watch and review this
but
today.
that's fine.
I had been anticipating watching and reviewing this.
Okay.
I was going to watch the other ones, and he knows this. I was going to watch the other ones in anticipation for this, but I spent too much time gooning, so I didn't get around to it.
As one does.
Yeah. But now we're here. You know,
I don't
room.
know any of that, but that's fine.
You knew. You knew. You were there while I was gooning.
That part.
You were in the room.
But I didn't know.
You didn't know that I was
anticipate watching.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were gonna watch.
Yeah, no, you didn't know that I was procrastinating.
I just saw you were just doing
watching
the gooning just to goon.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know
Like
you
we
were just
often do,
procrastination
exactly.
gooning. I thought it was just regular gooning.
Yes, that's usually Unfortunately, it was but that's what made the gooning better.
But that's fine.
Yeah, and I was procrastinating.
What I took from it is that I don't think you need to even watch the other ones, anyways. They're just like, No,
you definitely don't.
Definitely don't.
You definitely don't. Not for
but
this.
But now, since you're saying that they're gonna do 2 more, you probably have to see this one.
Yeah, this one I think.
Like this is leading up to the next one.
Yeah, they're gonna use the same characters now in this one, which they haven't done for the other 2 movies.
I don't think so.
But they are gonna do 2 more. The other one, I looked it up. The other one's greenlit. The next one, and then the third one, I think the script is written.
Okay.
But whether or not they make it is dependent on the financial success of this movie. And I think that, this might be, to get this out of the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
This might be a good lead-in to talk about the fact that, right now there are 10 English movies in theaters right now at the big cinema that we saw this one in.
Yeah.
Of those 10 movies, I counted 7 of them are either 7 of the 10 are not original IPs. They're either sequels or they're from the same universe of an existing movie or a remake.
Yeah.
So I guess the point I'm getting at is, everyone is saying art is dead because of AI. Most art that's been made has been shit always. And that'll continue to be.
That's just how it is. That's just how it is now.
That's how it's always been.
Remakes.
Yes.
Remakes, reboots, and sequels.
Yeah,
that's
and just general garbage and all of that. But it's easy to look at the past in retrospect and be like, oh, but it was so good back then. And it's like, but most of what was coming out back then was shit too.
They also did that
surely.
too. They also did the sequels back then too.
Yeah.
They just didn't do the reboots yet
And
because
just
it
like
wasn't time
shitty
for the reboots.
rom-coms and dystopian movies that were the same recycled garbage over and over again. You know?
Yeah.
There's always a thing.
Yeah.
But there are also always good movies that come out.
Yeah.
And then in retrospect, we look at those movies, and in 10 years, we're going to look back at this period of time in our life, and we're going to be like, man, why didn't they make movies like this one, like Shart,
The
Challenge? Why don't they make movies like Shart anymore?
Exactly.
You know? Like,
that's what's gonna happen.
We're gonna only look back at the good ones, but good stuff will still be coming out. There will always be good stuff, but there will always mostly be shit and stuff that exists purely to make money.
That's it.
That's just how it's been, and that's fine.
That's just how it is.
You gotta the movie industry is propped up by making money. Like you need to have the shitty movies to be able to also have the good movies. You can't live with only one. It's not that black and white, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, what did you think of the movie?
28 years.
28 years. What did you think?
Honestly, it was oddly beautiful. It was an oddly beautiful film.
What do you
like it was oddly beautiful.
What would you give it? Okay, well, I guess we'll wait until the end. What do you mean when you say?
I don't know that yet.
You don't know what you would give it out of 5 on Letterboxd?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, well we'll come to that conclusion together at the end. Yeah. What do you mean when you say it was oddly beautiful? What's your professional opinion?
It was oddly beautiful, man. No, like, just like the visuals were oddly beautiful. I thought
the whole way through.
The whole way through, I liked it. I liked.
I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought the visuals were pretty good. But I detest the editing style mostly.
Okay.
Like I don't like shaky cam, generally speaking.
Okay.
And like that shit where they do like a million cuts at once. I'm not too big of a fan of that. But sometimes it worked. I do like when they freeze framed when there was a kill. But then there was no visual consistency to that. It only happens sometimes.
That was good. Yeah, I know.
You know?
Because at the end, I was like, oh, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
When he was going to do that kill.
But then it didn't.
And then I was like, damn.
So I guess that
was a little bit missed
probably, I think. I do wonder whether or not that was on purpose in retrospect when you put it like that. But it seemed like it wasn't.
No.
I liked, I don't know, I liked the freeze frame
that.
kills.
No, but that wasn't even it was like a freeze frame thing. That was the effect. But did you know how they did that though?
There was a way of doing that?
No, I'm pretty sure that's... that
was just the phone malfunctioning?
No.
What was it?
No, because you're talking about when they killed them.
Yeah.
And then it would go to the other side. It would do that move around.
Did it do a move around?
It would be from here and then go
I
there.
thought it just had a freeze frame and then showed another freeze frame on the other side.
The way they did it, I'm pretty sure, is I gotta pull up the image. But it was they had this whole iPhone rig that go 10 iPhones around the person. So
in the Matrix?
Yeah.
It didn't
I'm assuming
work the
that's
same way
that
that it
shot,
worked in the
though.
Matrix,
That's what I'm assuming is that shot.
Okay.
I'll pull it up.
Okay. I believe you.
The iPhone rig.
That is, okay. Before we get more into the visuals, I'll touch on
this
the
rig
iPhone
here,
thing.
This one here.
Oh. Show
a million iPhones. Well, I mean, you could put it on this.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm lazy. I want to do as minimal editing as possible.
I think that's how they did it. So maybe they just took that frame and that frame and just used that. Because I don't think they used all of these
there's
frames.
no way they used all
so
of
they just selected
frames.
it to make it jarring. And they were like,
Perhaps.
which one do we want to use this time?
Yeah.
Camera 8 and camera 7.
I do want... It seemed like it was just a freeze frame, but it might have... I don't know. There were some interesting visual things that happened. Yeah. I do think, generally speaking, it was a pretty visually striking movie. I think that the composition, the DP work was quite good.
I don't think it was one of those ones where it's it's the iPhone and it's a gimmick one. Because it's not. I don't think it was.
It's always a gimmick.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? It's always a gimmick. It's a marketing stunt. But no,
yeah, but it serves the film too.
It does. But also though,
it doesn't.
No. There were parts for the first half of the movie. I was like, oh, you can tell it's shot on iPhone because of the chromatic aberration and because the highlights are blown out.
Yeah.
But They did that on purpose. There's no way that the chromatic aberration was something that was like done in the iPhone. The iPhone wouldn't have done that. It just wouldn't have.
No,
And
yeah, I
also
know
the
what you
highlights
mean.
being blown out. You know that like because they got an iPhone to
Yeah.
film it,
Yeah.
the lighting department was like hit up the producers and was like,
Yeah.
so you gotta increase our budgets
Yeah.
then to make it better, you know? And so like the background being blown out was like on purpose,
Yeah.
and it did serve the film.
Yeah.
But everything that the iPhone did could have been done also
Yeah, I know.
with a regular camera, and
Yeah.
it would have just been better probably with a regular camera and just like easier for the crew. That's why ultimately it is a gimmick,
Yeah,
because
I know.
the fact that we're talking about it right now
I know.
means it's a gimmick. It
Yeah,
was a
it-
marketing stunt,
yeah,
which
no,
is
no, it's a
fine
gimmick.
because like it gets people to watch movies, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's
But-
the gimmick for sure, because
Yes.
also like the other one, it was like, I did it on this camcorder and all that
Yeah.
stuff, right? And he likes to do that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah. No, definitely a gimmick, but like, not in the way that there's the ones where it's like the iPhone, but they use like the big ass lens on it. And it's
Did they
like-
not do that
No,
for
I don't
this
think
movie?
they did it actually. Now I take that back when I said it before.
Really?
Because
But okay, even if that's the case, though, it's still okay.
yeah,
This
I
is
know,
why it's
I know
still a
it's
gimmick.
still a
though.
gimmick. I know
Because
it's
it's
still a
like-
gimmick.
It's like, yeah, they shoot it on an iPhone, and then it's like, oh, so young filmmakers can know that all you need to make a film is an iPhone that's in your pocket and a $2 million lighting budget
Yeah.
and an AC to
Yeah,
pull
that's what
focus
you
that's
need.
been in the industry for 5+
Mhm.
years and a DP who's been working for 10+
that's all
years.
you need.
And that's all you need, and then another and then an art department that like has like a $10 million
Yeah.
budget, and I don't know what the budget of this film was.
Yeah.
But like, what's the point? Like you saved 50 grand on
Yeah.
the camera body,
Yeah.
like rentals for camera bodies, but like you're
Yeah.
still spending like
no, for
the
sure.
big bongo bucks,
Yeah.
you know? So it's the same thing. I don't know. In what way was it enhanced by it being shot on a phone that like it couldn't have done with like a regular camera?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, like what other than like I can't see it being anything other than a marketing stunt.
No, yeah,
because it
no.
looked good though is
Yeah.
the thing. It would
Yeah.
be different if it
No,
looked
it
like
did look
shit.
good.
Like if
But
it's
this is my
shot on a
thing, though, too.
camcorder
Yeah.
and it looks like shit
Yeah.
in this day and age, then it's like, oh, that's different and that's
Yeah.
an artistic choice.
Yeah.
But if you shoot it on a phone to make it look good and it did look good, then
Yeah.
what's the point?
But that's
I
what I,
don't know.
mean. Like,
And it did look good. It
yeah,
did
I
look
know,
good.
I know. But that's the other thing though too that I want to touch on with this whole debate here, because like also like aside from this film, just like this debate in general, where it's like, why do they got to do that? Why do they got to do that?
Because then they can put it in the news articles
Yeah,
and
they
then
could put
people
it in the
read
news
about
articles,
it,
but like also like,
and then people go
who
see the
cares?
movie.
Also,
Yeah, also who cares? No.
No,
I'm just being a prick for the sake
no,
of
I
being
know
a prick
you're
to
being.
some
I
extent.
know what you're doing, but I'm talking
because-
about like other people,
Yeah,
because like, but in my mind, it's just like.
marketing is a part of it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'm not knocking marketing.
Yeah,
like, listen,
100%.
if it gets more people to see the movie, by all means.
Yeah,
but
like it
that's-
definitely
let's
does,
call it
but
what
it's
it
like
is.
also like this is gonna get to a certain point where like we don't have to talk about it like in this way,
What do you mean?
because it's just another fucking camera to use. Just because it's like, yeah, it's because
a
like
worse
where the
camera.
iPhone is though. Yeah, I know, but like
yeah, the iPhone.
it's just like
Sure.
where the iPhone is like right now, like you know what I mean, like it's not like a cinema camera, you know, it's not but like what is a cinema camera also? So that's why it's like, what even is this conversation? We're only having this conversation.
But no. There's a reason in the film industry why they use cinema cameras. They save money
Yeah,
using cinema
okay,
cameras because
yeah,
when you
you're right.
use a shittier
No, I know.
camera, you end up then you get the lighting guys that are like, well, then
Yeah.
you got to give me more
Yeah.
money, and you then like you end up spending more money to compensate for the fact that you're using shittier gear. 100% that's the case. And then also like it's just more tedious. Where you're really spending money is that things will take longer because
Yeah.
you're using shittier gear, and every minute that's wasted on a film
Yeah.
set like of a budget like this, because of just on heads alone, the number of people that you're employing, that you're paying,
Yeah.
like every minute that's wasted is like thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars just being burned.
yeah,
So, but like it's made up for by the fact that like ideally in an ideal world, I would imagine that like the thought process is it's made up for because then it can be a publicity stunt and more people
Yeah.
see the movie, which is
Yeah.
fine.
yeah.
But that's what it is. No, the iPhone is good.
No,
It's
I know.
you can do
I
a
know
lot of
what
good
you're
stuff
saying.
with it.
I know what
but
you're
like,
saying.
but you know,
Yeah.
the same way that you can do a lot of good stuff with more or less any camera if the lighting is really good
Yeah.
and you like you have a big team of people.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, if you want to be like encouraging to like, if that's the argument, is to be like encouraging, I guess this is something that I've like, you didn't say this, I brought this up,
No,
to
but
be
that's
like
not even what I'm
encouraging to like
talking
young
about.
filmmakers, but like then lower budget movies like
Yeah.
The Dirties or
Yeah.
something is like more that like
Yeah.
like show me something that was
No,
shot on like a
100%.
5D
Yeah, no,
Mark
100%.
III
Yeah, for sure.
that like with
Yeah.
$10,000 and like two goons jacking off
Yeah.
while they were doing it, you know, like that's different. That's a different
Yeah,
type of movie.
no, for sure.
Or like Clerks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Like, yeah. But
Yeah.
it looked good. It looked good. Sometimes though, it also looked like it had warp stabilizer on it, and I don't know what that was, and I don't know if that was on purpose, because the
No, I
in-camera
just think it
stabilization on the
was like,
iPhone isn't that.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was either, but I'm gonna go on a limb and assume that was like an active choice,
Yeah.
because that could have been something that was that would have been avoided.
It looks like they
easily
used
on
like the
set.
5x zoom, and then like I don't know.
Yes.
It was like, yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, and that makes sense with the visual consistency of
Yeah.
the rest of the film, because like they would do that and then like have the movement be like really fast, and that was certainly like a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also vape on camera. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, at some point I'm gonna ask to hit the vape on camera.
Don't do that stuff, guys.
Don't do it. It's bad. It's not.
No,
allowed.
but I like that stuff. I still liked it. I liked that.
Like,
that stuff.
what part did you? What
the
do you
whole
mean?
visuals, I liked it. It played good.
What do you
It was
mean?
very good.
When you say you liked it, what?
The whole
what does
like
that
thing,
mean?
the whole, it was a good film.
It was
It
filmed
looked
well.
good.
But I do think though that like this is the issue. Like, it was shot quite well and it was lit quite well.
Yeah.
The art department did a good job.
Yeah.
Especially like shout out to the art department. I think that it was quite good.
Yeah.
But like there were shots that were like really nice looking, and then it would be like 1 second, and then they would cut away to like just a standard shot, and I would be like, you could have stayed on that really nice shot longer. And it also confused me, because like from the perspective like on the set, like that, there's no way like that shot didn't take like ages to set up, and like for 1 second,
that's it.
You know,
that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
That's all
I
you
guess. Yeah, but it did look good. It looked like better than I expected it to look, I think. I don't know what I expected, but I liked the cinematography. I thought the composition was quite well done.
Yeah.
Lighting was quite well done. Yeah. I liked, there was some interesting visual stuff that they were playing with. I liked when they like cut and like to these sequences that were all in like red.
Yeah, those things. Yeah,
it was cool. It added to the
little
to the vibe.
Zombie parts.
The zombie parts.
Where it was like, this happened. This is what happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Added to it. I do think like the sound design was like in a very interesting place, because like half of the time I was like, this is good. It's really adding to it, and then the other half of the time I was like, this is very much just like telling me like, oh, you're supposed to be scared now. Like, this is just loud noises happening. Whenever it did loud noises happening, I was like, okay. The first time it was like, you didn't need to do that, but now you're doing it like for the 8th time, and it's like it's the same thing every time. I don't know if that had to be a recurring like visual motif.
That's fair.
Yeah. But then also like there was a lot of cool stuff happening with the sound design, where like it would be eerie in way, it would add to like the eeriness of the film in a way that's like strange and hard to describe. Like, it would not necessarily be just like scary music for the sake of it being scary, or like when there were tense soundtracks, it was just like cool. You know?
Yeah.
And then like, but then there were also times where like, because of the soundtrack in combination with what the visuals were showing, like it would have like something almost like silly playing or like out of place, and like that would make it more eerie. but also sometimes it made it more camp, which is the other thing with the film in terms of like its consistency, which like
Yeah.
when I was initially like leaving the theater, because it ends on like the sequence that was like really camp.
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, just I don't even know how to describe the vibe of those guys.
No, I don't.
I don't know how to describe those guys without like coming off as like probably really racist.
Yeah.
Good guys, just a good group of guys come out and they're like, yeah, we'll kill those zombies for you, kid. You know, and then there's like a dance number almost, and they fuck up like this group of zombies.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, and they're in like these colorful jumpsuits, and like I liked that as a scene. And then at the end of the movie, I felt a little conflicted. I was like, I don't really know if the movie knew what it was like trying to be, because like it alternated between like being camp and then like, but then it also being like very serious.
Yeah.
But then after a moment, I was like, well, it did, but like, did it do the camp well? It did the camp, and then I was like, yeah, it did the camp well.
Mhm.
And then did it do the serious moments well? Yeah, it did the serious moments well. So like all of the emotional beats hit the way that I think that they were supposed to hit, and it didn't detract from itself. So like that was actually like rather impressive, especially since it's like a zombie movie, just like a regular zombie movie.
Yeah.
I think that they played with the genre like pretty well. Like it was pretty unique, even though like at face value it shouldn't have been, but like it felt pretty unique to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What else?
I don't know. I don't know. What else do you think? What do you think of the story?
Well, I needed to watch the other ones for
Oh.
to really be, you know. No, it was good. I enjoyed it. I just thought it was a little bit like when he goes off for the second time.
Yeah.
Then I started not to like it as much.
Really?
I enjoyed the first half.
You enjoyed the first half more than the second half?
Yeah.
I don't know if
But then there was like a point where I was like, "No, okay, this is good. Now they got me back on."
I feel like
when like the other guy came in who like he's in the Marines.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't like any of this really.
You didn't like that?
I don't like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part.
I like the whole like hunter gatherer, like these guys are out here.
Yeah.
They're living this life. He's teaching his son.
Yeah.
I liked all that.
I like that too.
And then like he went out and I was like, this motherfucker's going out there alone now with his mom. And then it was cool. It was still cool, but I was like, but they're losing me a little bit. And then that guy came, and I was like, what's going on now? Now we gotta, where did these guys come from now? But then we met the doctor, and then it was getting a little bit better.
Yeah, from the point where the doctor was introduced until the end.
Yeah,
it was good. Yeah, I think there was a bit of like a lull.
Yeah,
certainly,
a little bit slow.
When like the kid went back out there.
Yeah. There were points too, like where I was like, okay, it's over now, but then it wasn't.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times for me.
But that's okay. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
But yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was good. I don't know about any of the other ones, but like for this one, what it was like a pretty cohesive. Like you just follow it. It's like not too many different storylines going on, though, to be honest. So it's just like that one thing, and then like
it was easy to follow. You could goon while you watch the movie for sure. Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
You could goon,
and you would follow it pretty effectively. What's that? On camera?
Don't put this in you. Don't put this in.
No, really?
I don't want it in.
You don't want it in? Why?
I don't want it in.
It'll mess up your public image.
It's gonna mess up my image. No, I guess it's fine.
We started the video talking about how we were gooning together.
I know. Well, that's fine.
I can take it out. I can take out anything that you want me
Everybody
to
goons.
Everybody goons, but not everybody vapes. And those who vape
are
worse. They go to hell. Yeah, they go to hell.
No, it was cool. I also like that cool, like, when they were, I was like, no, you know the whole gas station scene? I was like, there's no way they survived.
Yeah.
There's no way to survive.
Yeah.
But I liked how the gas looked too.
I didn't like how the
You
gas
didn't like
looked.
that?
No.
I liked it.
I thought it looked like,
Too fake.
yeah.
Yeah, but
And
I
they
kind of
were
liked
probably
it.
getting at that. And I think that they probably also did that because, like, to show that, like, the gas rises to, like, foreshadow that
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
show, like, that if they
But I
duck,
liked how it looked. I liked how it looked.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know how they did that, but like it was almost like they painted it on the frames.
Yeah, it did kind of have that
It
vibe
looked
to it.
like how they would do it in the olden days.
Yeah, it
I don't
did
know.
a little bit. I
understand
know
why
what you're
most people
saying.
wouldn't like it, but like
Yeah,
I thought like they're doing so many different visual things in this that it's like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
it
they're
was
gonna get
cool
away with
visual.
this too.
yeah. No, fair
You know?
enough. At least they played with it. It was unique. It was
Yeah.
unique. If it
Yeah.
was like a completely like
Yeah.
like a gas that like had no visuals,
Yeah,
then I
then
guess
yeah.
in retrospect,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have worked at all. So you get a point on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, fair enough. I liked it.
Yeah.
I
Ralph
do.
Fiennes and
yeah.
stuff.
Hmm?
Ralph Fiennes,
What are
the
you?
doctor.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah.
He was good.
He's been on a run
Yeah.
with his films.
What else has he done?
Like Conclave and shit.
Oh yeah. Conclave.
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen it yet,
but yeah,
they've been saying he's on the run.
they have been.
So
I guess
far,
they've been
but,
saying that.
Yeah, no, it was all cool, and then the whole
I-
thing, it's like, nah, he's not actually this bad guy.
Yeah, but like that,
Yeah, it's like,
obviously,
of course,
obviously. Yeah.
No.
Nothing about the movie was like the movie's story was particularly shocking to me.
Yeah.
I will say one thing
What do you
story
think?
wise.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. No,
one thing
finish that
story
point.
wise that like did kind of like irk me a little bit.
Okay.
It's a small thing.
Okay.
Is that like the guy says I cover myself in iodine
Yeah.
because the zombies
They
they
don't
don't like it.
Yeah.
And like what? Why did they say that? Why is he covered in iodine? If like then like literally 10
Yeah,
minutes
and then
later
he
a zombie
jumps.
fucking gets him.
Yeah. I thought he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I know that part.
It, that was like you just wanted to make him paint
it's like, is he
himself
gonna
yellow
die
so he would
now?
look cool.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. What did you think about? Let's touch on now. What about the zombies? How they were? I don't know. I haven't seen
Like
too
how
much
their
zombie
cocks
stuff.
were
Just
big?
like
All of them had like massive cocks.
he was hung. He
was hung. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the letterbox one you saw.
Yeah, that's the letterboxd one I saw. Yeah, the top review is about how the
He's
zombie is
hung, he's
like
hung.
fucking hung. Yeah.
He wasn't really hung.
This is a segment that I like to call "Would you fuck
He wasn't
a
really that
zombie?"
hung.
Would you fuck a zombie?
Let's be real.
What do you mean he wasn't that hung?
No, because like proportion to his body was normal.
What?
Yeah. No.
Flaccid? The girth on that would
He's
not
the
fit in a
alpha.
Magnum
He's
condom.
the alpha.
That was first of
But,
all,
like,
that
also-
zombie was a white man.
Yeah.
It was a white man.
They all
White
look
men
the same.
don't
It kind of
have-
bothered
It was
me a
an
little bit,
8-inch flaccid penis.
Yeah. This is my other thing though. But like, why do they?
Why do
I
they
don't know.
all
I
look
guess
the
I
same?
don't know if they touch on this any point, but like, yeah, where he's like, it gives you steroids and shit, and then like, so they all just look like that though now. Like,
But not all of them. I think that they said that they look that it's like steroids
Yeah.
for the like alphas.
but like, what did the alpha begin looking like when he was human?
Like
What did he
fucking
look like? Jason
Captain
Momoa.
America before
They're
the
all Jason
transition.
Momoa.
No. The steroids made them big.
I know, but then why do they all look like the same guy?
They don't all look like that though. The alphas were like built.
I know, but they all like the same face and shit too. I know we barely saw it, but like they have the long hair.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's a weird thing to me though.
That all
They
of
would
the
all look
zombies
the
looked
same.
like zombies.
No, but like just the alpha ones, like they killed one of them. No, they killed the guy when
Yeah,
they ran first.
when they
But
ran.
then the
through
other one that's
thing.
later looks the same, the exact same. That's just what it does to the alphas.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like that's
I
what
don't
happens
really
when you take steroids.
know.
It just gives you bigger muscles.
Yeah.
You know. Also, I'm pretty sure it makes your cock smaller though.
So this one is
So-
reversed.
Yeah, this one's reversed. This is the
And
type of
it's swinging
steroids that
around.
make your cock bigger.
It's swinging
Those are
around
the
and
kinds
shit.
that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's swinging around and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
What are you gonna do? You know? What
Those
are you gonna
guys, man,
do?
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Would you fuck a zombie?
And then there's no.
Why? But what if the zombie looked like a regular human being
No,
and like had just
none
enough
of that.
like cognition.
Then you would
to,
have
like,
the baby that
consent.
they had in the film.
Yeah,
It's not infected
what I wonder is if that person was pregnant before
right?
becoming
That's
a
what I'm
zombie,
wondering too, and it probably is that. I
yeah,
think.
or if zombie sex is canon in this movie. That's what I want
You
to
think
know.
it would be,
Yeah,
but then it would be infected.
I don't know.
I feel like it would.
But the doctor said the thing about the placenta being
Yeah, it's a
like
powerful
magical.
thing.
It's a powerful thing. So
I guess. I guess.
yeah.
It is.
I liked the movie. I did like the movie. I thought it was pretty cool visually. I think the story was pretty good. I like that it did the bait and switch with the story. So the first half of the movie
Yeah.
was like I don't know if we're assuming that these people have seen it or not,
I
but
don't
fuck them.
I don't know.
You know?
At this point, it's been out for long enough.
Yeah. But like the first like half of the movie was just like zombie thing. They live on an island.
Yeah.
They go out to like do the exploring and bring frisbees back.
Yeah.
You know, and for clout,
drink
so that
and
they
stuff
can like
and,
have
like,
sex. Yeah. And
And then the whole thing
and-
is just so chaotic.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Very chaotic,
It's
yeah.
good.
and then I like that it became like a different thing
You like
midway
that. You
through.
like that.
I do like the bait and switch.
I didn't like it, but then I liked it after.
Yeah.
So it was
I
that.
do think that there was that lull, but like other than that lull, there were some like weird pacing things though too. Like when the kid, like after the kid's mom dies,
Yeah.
and then fucking like the next scene
Yeah,
they're
I
being
thought it was
chased
gonna
by a
end there.
zombie. I thought it was gonna end there, and I was thinking in my head like, oh, like they cut part of this scene
Yeah.
because they didn't have the runtime, and it's near the end.
Okay.
Because like it felt
I
so
see.
jarring.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, I know.
like the kid's mom
I know.
dies, and then like, bam, next scene like is the next day, and a zombie is coming for them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that wasn't like
alpha.
built up at all. The alpha, yeah,
He's coming.
he's coming. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. What are you gonna do? You know. What are you gonna do? I don't even. What other zombie movies are there? You know?
World War Z.
Yes.
I've seen that one.
Uh-huh.
I like that one.
That one was like, I don't know. I saw that as a kid, so I can't give like proper judgment on
Okay,
it. But like
okay.
Brad Pitt was in it, right?
Yeah.
So it must have been pretty entertaining. At the very
Yeah,
least.
that's a good one. There's the 28 Days Later and 28
Okay.
Weeks Later.
There are those movies.
And then there's also the new one, 28. See, my only thing is they shouldn't have went now to 28. Now it's 28 years later. The Bone something? What is it? The Bone... the Bone Tower? No.
I don't know. I don't know.
The Bone
What about it?
Tomb?
What about it?
Because it should be the... They should have just went to 28 decades later. It should have been. No? Come
Yeah.
on, dude.
Yeah, they gotta continue with it.
It's... Yeah,
The way that like Now You See Me 3 is
Exactly.
called Now You Don't, but they really should have
Exactly.
called it Now You See Me 3, you know, just to fuck with people.
it's not even showing up.
No,
He's not doing the next one.
but he's doing the third one, I think.
Why would he be doing that?
I don't know,
I don't think
man.
he even did the Weeks one, Danny Boyle.
No, he didn't do the weeks.
Yeah, he's not doing the next one.
no,
And then he's gonna do 3.
presumably.
That's so weird.
It's a little odd.
Maybe he has something else on his plate.
Yeah.
20
maybe,
years
probably.
later, part 2, The Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple.
And then 28 years later, part 3. You can't just do that. They just probably haven't figured out the title.
Yeah,
But what I'm thinking
Probably.
is it should be 28 decades later and then 28.
but then they can't use the same characters. They want to like make
Yeah,
this
I know,
like
I
a
know. They
real
wanna do
sequel.
that. No, I know.
They revive it and then do real sequels.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
because
Okay.
of like, creativity in the film industry.
And then the next one probably will be 28 and a half. No, no.
28 and a half. Yeah.
28 weeks later and 28 days. Yeah, okay. What are you
And
going to do?
they should make a movie called 28, 21.
There's a movie called 28 Degrees
21
Celsius.
movie, 21 zombies later, and it's a gambling movie about zombies.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
The only way this goes is it just becomes it starts to end up being like it becomes like the Jurassic franchise after.
In what way? Like I've only seen the first Jurassic
Like
Park
it's just
movie.
like more like how much more is gonna happen. Okay, they're just gonna affect the next land.
Yeah. They'll just keep coming up
Then
with
it's
stuff.
just-
It doesn't need to be
Yeah, I know. Then
different.
it's
It'll just
more
be more of the
hunters
same.
and stuff, and then it becomes.
The
Yeah.
question is, what are they gonna shoot the next movie of?
That is the question.
I think
That
the
is
next
question.
movie should just be audio.
Only audio.
Only audio. It's
This
a
is a
podcast.
new.
The next one. I think
Yeah,
that would
what
be
would it
pretty
be
inventive.
shot on?
Yeah. What would then be like a new gimmick?
What would be the new
What would a
thing?
new market? Oh, AI.
Yeah.
They're gonna use AI for the whole movie.
No,
No.
it can't be AI.
That'd be
You
bad.
can't do it, or it's like 360 camera.
Yeah, they only use the 360 camera, the Insta360.
The whole time.
It's just it's like they could do like one where it's fucking Hardcore Henry. It's just a POV movie
Yeah.
for the whole thing.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I want to see it.
I haven't.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, like an Alex Adams zombie movie. You know?
Because he's home.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it.
What are you doing, step zombie? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand like maybe I'm just dense, but like I feel like during the first third of the movie they were trying to draw like a lot of parallels to war,
Yeah, with the
but,
whole
like only visually. Like, am I too dense
well,
to
they had that in
understand
the
the
trailer,
metaphorical
and I don't
value?
know if it was. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand it either, but like, it was cool.
It was cool.
So,
I liked it
it
too,
was
though. I don't
cool,
know.
but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah, no.
that
I'm not
scene,
thinking
yeah,
too deep into it.
I don't think that they had much like deep intentions
Yeah.
with that. I think
Yeah.
it was just for the vibes.
Yeah.
And I'm all for the vibes.
Yeah, I think-
I'm cool. I
I'm
think
in
you
for the
should be
vibes.
allowed to just do things for the
Yeah,
vibes.
you should
in
always do
movies.
things for vibes.
I think if anything, doing stuff actively for like too much metaphorical
Yeah.
value, especially like if
Yeah.
it's baked into the script, is like a really good way to make like a super pretentious movie
Mhm,
like
mhm.
Megalopolis, where like it ends up just being. So I think that metaphorical
That was
value is something
also
that
a really
generally.
good one.
God damn it! I don't
You'll
know
see
what
it
you
in
really
10
think.
years. In 10 years, people are gonna start turning around
I
and go,
think
yeah,
you're wrong.
fuck, it's gonna be a cult classic. So
think you're incorrect. I think you're in. I
We'll
think
see,
I think
man.
no. It'll be a cult classic. It'll certainly be a cult
Yeah,
classic.
but,
I know
like-
people that like that movie now,
yeah,
but I think most people will think it's bad. I think it'll be a cult classic the way that like the bad M Night Shyamalan
Yeah,
movies are,
okay,
like The
okay.
Lady in the Water, or
That's
whatever
fair.
that one is. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay.
But yeah, this one pretty good. This
Yeah.
one's pretty good. Yeah.
I don't know what else do they say about it.
I think that's more or less
That's
it.
more or less
I think
it
that's
for
more or
this,
less it.
for this John.
I think for this John.
Yeah, for this John.
Yeah. The story was pretty good. It was an entertaining movie. I could recommend it to like.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
I don't know if I would watch it again. I would watch it again on like I would put it on the background while I do other things.
While you goon.
While I goon. Yeah.
And procrastinating the next watch.
Yeah.
Instead of watching 28 Days Later, now you're just gonna watch
I'm just gonna
this one.
put this one on again.
I've seen this one. So.
Yeah, so I know what I'm getting
Yeah.
into. You know, it won't be an anxious goon. It'll
Yeah.
be like a familiar goon.
Yeah.
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 Because of the context. I don't know. What would you give it? How would you rate it? I guess we'll do the letterboxed ratings for the if you want to rate it. I want to know what I want to know what you would give it out of 5. What are you gonna give it out of 5?
Probably a 5.
No.
And a like. No. No, but it was pretty good. I'd probably give it like a 3.5, 4.
Yeah, I would give it like a 3.5.
Around there. Probably 3.5.
Yeah. I don't know if it's better than Shart, the challenge.
No,
but,
that one,
you know,
you
that
can't
one's
top
a
that
special
one.
place in our heart.
that might have to go on the letterbox top 4.
I think so.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But yeah.
yeah, this was good.
That's what I would give it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. I'm sure the other ones are good too.
I'm not.
I know the 28
certain of
Days
that.
Later, I think is,
Well, I've heard good things about.
but I don't know
that
about the
one.
Weeks one.
Was
That
the
one I have
Weeks
no idea.
one shot on something unique as
I
well?
think so. I'd have to look it up, but I think it was. Unless it's not because he didn't direct that one. No, well, it says it was used a combination of film and digital cameras. That gives me nothing. I think this was just not shot on anything special.
Okay.
So, but they did like 16 mil and 35, so like whatever. They played with formats, so,
Yeah.
but not in the same kind of way.
Okay. Okay.
It's probably the same way like how like they did they probably just did stuff like how they did what do you call it?
The other movies.
Like Saving Private Ryan and stuff.
Oh
you know,
yeah,
where,
yeah,
like, they're
yeah,
just-
yeah,
It's still
yeah.
like
a lot of
normal
movies do that.
cinema
that's,
cameras,
that's
but
a
like,
regular.
yeah.
That's a pretty standard practice
Yeah.
for a lot of movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good flick.
Pretty good
It's
flick and
more-
watch.
Is probably I think better than I expected.
Flick and watch?
Yeah.
That's not the
That's
phrase.
that's the official rating I think we give it. I
Flick
would
and watch?
flick
Good flick
and watch at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. If you're looking at something to flick to
This-
while
that's
you
the rating.
watch,
Flick and watch.
Yeah. that's what I think.
Good 10 flicks out of 10.
Good 10 flicks
No.
at a time. Yeah, seven flicks at a time. I think that's a good.
I think that's a good rating.
Yeah. 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're done
Holy
the
shit.
review. I think we're done the review here. God damn it.